Iran just said no. No to zero enrichment, no to handing over its uranium, and possibly no to U.S. pressure altogether. Now, the big question is America preparing for something bigger? The first face-to-face diplomatic talks between the U.S. and Iran since last year's war ended in Oman some time back, and they ended without a deal. On February 6th in Muscat, U.S. negotiators led by Special Envoy Steve Witkoff presented what Iranian officials are calling a maximalist demand, and Tehran flat-out rejected it as per recent reports. So what exactly did Washington demand? According to diplomats briefed on the talks, the United States asked for a complete halt to uranium enrichment for at least 3 years. When enrichment resumes, a strict cap at 1.5% purity, far below previous agreements. And the biggest demand of all, Iran must hand over or eliminate its 400 kilograms of uranium enriched to 60%, material that experts say is dangerously close to weapons grade. In exchange, no immediate sanctions relief, just a pledge not to strike Iran's nuclear sites again. From Tehran's perspective, that wasn't a compromise, it was surrender. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi called the proposal irrelevant. His message was blunt: zero enrichment is not on the table. Iran insists uranium enrichment is a sovereign right, a red line backed by Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. Tehran did hint at one possible concession. It might dilute its 60% uranium stockpile, but only after full sanctions relief. Sanctions first, concessions second. That's the standoff. President Donald Trump earlier described the talks as very good, but he followed that with a warning. He has now warned Iran that a deal must come quickly, or Iran could face very traumatic consequences.
Your meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu yesterday, has your thinking changed at all as it relates to these negotiations with Iran or the timeline with Iran?
We have to make a deal, otherwise it's going to be very traumatic. Very traumatic. I don't want that to happen, but we have to make a deal. They should have made a deal the first time, and they got Midnight Hammer instead. And this will be very traumatic for Iran if they don't make a deal. Look, if they don't make a deal, then it'll be a different story. But we had a very good meeting yesterday with Bibi Netanyahu, and he understands, but it's ultimately up to me. If the deal isn't a very fair deal and a very good deal with Iran, then it's going to be, I think, a very difficult time for them in the back. I guess over the next month, something like that. Yeah, it shouldn't take, I mean, it should happen quickly. They should agree very quickly, yeah.
Behind the scenes, the Pentagon has reportedly deployed another aircraft carrier group to the region. That's not just diplomacy, that's pressure. And some analysts say Trump's recent language hints at something even more dramatic. If Iran won't compromise, does Washington shift toward regime change pressure? Remember, this comes just months after U.S. and Israeli strikes heavily damaged Iran's nuclear facilities. Sites like Natanz and Fordow were hit. Yet Iran kept its 60% enriched uranium. That stockpile is now at the center of this crisis. Meanwhile, the U.S. is increasing naval deployments. Iran is fortifying nuclear sites and conducting missile drills. Israel is urging Washington to take an even harder line. A second round of talks is expected soon in Geneva. But here's the reality. The U.S. wants enrichment stopped first. Iran wants sanctions lifted first. Neither side wants to blink, and somewhere between those two positions, the clock is ticking.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app